Sit down for a second, actually. I want to get this one right, so just bear with me. I get a little annoyed by how often these two phrases get used like they mean the same thing, because they don't, and mixing them up actually does some damage. Mental health, mental disorder. They throw them around interchangeably. Group chats, wellness ads, and sometimes, honestly, even in clinics, which is worse. So here's what I want to argue for the next few minutes. Good mental health isn't the same as no disorder, and having a disorder doesn't mean your mental health is wrecked. That's not just a technicality. I actually think mixing these two up is one of the more quietly harmful habits we have around this whole topic. Best comparison I've got is climate and weather. One rainy Tuesday doesn't rewrite the climate record. Obvious when you put it that way. Somehow, we still ignore it constantly. So let's pull these apart properly. Mental health is just ongoing. It's the emotional weather you're living in day to day. Everyone has it, whether they've thought about it or not. Goes up, goes down, that's just life. A disorder's a different animal, and this is the part people skip past too fast. It's diagnosable. There are actual criteria. Duration, severity, whether it's really disrupting someone's life in a way you can point to. This isn't a vibe check. Nobody qualified just glances at a person having a bad Tuesday and slaps a label on. Here's the picture I want you to keep. Mental health is the ocean. A storm's a move that moves through it. And this is the bit I actually care about. The ocean doesn't need a storm to get choppy. Sometimes it's just an off week. That's allowed. Please listen to my argument. Why bother drawing this line at all? Because I think both kinds of confusion cause real harm. I've seen both. Take someone diagnosed with depression, managing it well. Therapy, maybe medication, whatever combination actually works for them. They've got a job, people who love them. The disorder's genuinely there, not going anywhere, but it hasn't swallowed their whole life. And I think that story gets underappreciated. We love a recovery arc where the disorder just disappears. Much less love for, I have this, I manage it, I'm okay. That second story's just as real, probably more common, gets way less airtime. Now flip it. Someone goes through a bad breakup or loses someone, or just burns out after years of grinding. Sleep falls apart, motivation's gone, they feel awful. And none of that meets criteria for anything. That's poor mental health, full stop. Doesn't need a clinical name to matter. And here's a bit that might sound like it contradicts what I just said about disorders sticking around. This kind of thing usually does resolve on its own. Rest, time, people to talk to, this probably lifts on its own. No long history here, just a hard stretch, after a genuinely hard few months. So two separate scales, not one line with fine on one end and diagnosed on the other. Flourishing to struggling is one axis. Disorder or not is a totally different one. Knowing where someone sits on one tells you almost nothing about the other. I wish more people sat with that before handing out advice. Get this wrong and you end up in one of two places. One, you dismiss someone's pain because there's no paperwork behind it. Honestly, this one gets to me. Suffering doesn't need a permission slip. Or, quieter but just as damaging, you hear the word diagnosis and you start filing that person away as broken, fragile, permanently different from you. But a diagnosis just names a pattern. That's all it does. It was never meant to be a verdict on someone's worth. I think we need to say that out loud more, instead of assuming everyone already gets it. This is the example. Let me just tell you about a few people. Dinda finished her final exams 2 weeks ago. She's anxious, snapping at her family, barely sleeping. Nothing feels enjoyable. Rough couple of weeks. That's poor mental health. And to be clear, it's not just stress. It counts, it matters. But look at the shape of it. There's an edge to it, a cause, something you can already see the end of. Rest, time, people to talk to, this probably lifts on its own. No long history here, just a hard stretch, after a genuinely hard few months. So Raka's story looks similar on the surface. It isn't once you get closer. 8 months now, not 2 weeks, 8 months of this heaviness that won't lift even on the good days, even when nothing's actually wrong. He's lost interest in things he used to care about. Appetite's off, can't focus. Some days he's genuinely questioning what the point of any of it is. That's not having a rough patch. I'd push back on anyone framing it that way. It's persistent, no clean trigger you can point to, quietly wrecking nearly every part of his life for the better part of a year. This starts looking like something clinical, major depressive disorder maybe. And just give it time isn't good advice here. This usually needs real support, therapy, sometimes medication, actual structure around him. Let me give you a couple more, because I don't think 2 examples ever really covers it. Tender, careful. Take sorry. New mom, 3 weeks postpartum. She's exhausted, obviously, who isn't, but also weepy in random moments, overwhelmed, snapping at her partner over nothing. That's incredibly common. Some people even call it the baby blues, and for most people it's just hormones and sleep deprivation settling in, and it eases up within a couple of weeks on its own. Poor mental health, situational, expected even. But say that same heaviness is still there at 3 months. She's having thoughts about not being a good mother, feels disconnected from the baby, can't shake a sense of dread that doesn't match anything actually happening. That's not the baby blues anymore. That's the territory of postpartum depression, an actual diagnosable disorder, and it needs a doctor involved, not just more sleep. Lighter, admiring. Or think about Farhan. He's got generalized anxiety disorder, diagnosed years ago, been in therapy on and off since. Some days it flares. Most days, honestly, you'd never know. He runs a small business. He's got close friends. He laughs a lot. The disorder didn't go anywhere, it's just something he's built a life around managing. That's the point I keep circling back to. A diagnosis isn't a life sentence on how well someone gets to live. And then there's someone like Wulan, who has no diagnosis at all, never has, probably never will, but she's just been miserable for the last month because her job is genuinely toxic, and her landlord is threatening to raise rent she can't afford. Her mental health is bad right now, understandably. That's not a disorder, that's her mind responding completely reasonably to a bad situation. Fix the situation, and a lot of that lifts. So, 4 different shapes really. A short reactive dip, a long unexplained heaviness, a disorder someone's actively managing well, and ordinary suffering with an obvious cause. Same rough surface. Everyone in these stories feels bad, but underneath, completely different things going on, and they call for different responses. So where does that leave us? Mental health is just the ground you're standing on every day, whether you notice it or not. It shifts with sleep, with relationships, with grief, with good news. You don't need a diagnosis to justify paying attention to it. You just need to be honest with yourself about how you're actually doing, which, I'll admit, is harder than it sounds. A disorder's a narrower thing than that, specific, persistent, usually needs someone trained to actually recognize it, not just a well-meaning friend, however good their intentions. And having one isn't failure. I mean that. No more than a broken wrist is a personal failure, it's something to treat, not something to be ashamed of. If there's one thing I want you to walk away with, it's this. You don't need a diagnosis to deserve care, and if you do have one, that doesn't put a ceiling on what your life still gets to become. Both of those are true at the same time. That's not a contradiction, by the way. It's just messier than the tidy version people prefer. So next time you hear these 2 phrases used like they mean the same thing, you'll know better than that now. The ocean is still worth caring for even when there's no storm in it. And if a storm does come through, that doesn't ruin the ocean. It's still there, still worth tending to, still yours. So your mind deserves care, not a courtroom.
Feeling bad isn't weakness. Ignoring it usually is. And if it storms, let someone help you find your way back. That's not weakness. If anything, I'd say it's the opposite. Take care.